Welcome to The Curious Machine. Have you ever stopped to think, really think, about how unique your own view of the world is? What if, for some people, hearing a sound wasn't just hearing? What if it also triggered a vivid color they could actually see? Or maybe tasting a word, not just thinking about the taste, but a real sensation. It sounds incredible, but it's a reality we're diving into today.
It really is an incredible phenomenon. It's called synesthesia. The word itself, it's from ancient Greek, basically means senses together. And it describes this condition where stimulating one sense or even thinking about a concept, it involuntarily consistently triggers an experience in a different sense or pathway. And it's really important to stress this isn't a disorder. It's not imagination. It's a genuine neurological difference. And what's surprising? Just how common it might be. Many people who have it don't even realize it's unusual. It's just they're normal.
Wow. Okay, so today our mission is to unpack this neurological phenomenon, look at all its surprising forms, and try to understand why some brains are wired this way. And, what does it tell us about our own perceptions, about how diverse our minds can be? Okay, so let's make this a bit more concrete. Give us some examples of what this really looks like for someone. Like, imagine if the word Wednesday, it wasn't just a sound or letters on a page, but for you, it consistently showed up as, a deep red color every single time. Or maybe listening to your favorite music, you don't just hear it, you actually see like a dance of colors and shapes right there in front of you. And it's not a memory, right? Not like associating a song with a memory. It's direct.
Exactly. It's a direct involuntary perception, not an association you consciously make. And the main idea, the theory behind it, suggests that in people with synesthetes, certain brain areas that are usually pretty separate, well, they seem to have more connections or maybe stronger connections. So you activate one sense, maybe the auditory part of your brain, and that activation sort of spills over, triggers another area, maybe the visual cortex. It leads to this, you called it a sensory mashup. That's a good way to think about it. It's involuntary, it's consistent, and often it's something they've experienced their whole lives.
A sensory mashup. I like that. So are these connections just like stronger? Or are they different pathways altogether compared to someone without synesthesia? And if it's this profound, this different way of experiencing things, how come more people don't know about it? Or even know they have it?
Well, that's the fascinating part. It's surprisingly common, but it often flies under the radar. Current research suggests maybe around 4% of people have some form of it.
4%, that's actually quite a lot.
It is. It means you probably know someone who's a synesthete, and they might not even know the word for it because, how would you know your reality is different if you've never known anything else? It's really seen as a variant of human experience, not a disease or disorder. Usually it doesn't cause problems, and sometimes it can even be seen as beneficial.
Okay, 4%. So given it's relatively common, what are some of the ways it shows up? You mentioned different forms. I'm really curious about the variety here.
Oh, the variety is amazing. One of the most frequently studied types is grapheme color synesthesia. That's where individual letters or numbers consistently evoke specific colors.
Letters and numbers having colors. Okay.
Yeah. For example, the physicist Richard Feynman, famous scientist, he talked about seeing his equations in color. He'd describe, J's being light tan, N's being sort of violet bluish, is dark brown, all just there in his mind's eye as he worked.
Wow. So it wasn't just an idea. He saw them that way.
That's how he described it. And think about how that could affect perception. Imagine a test. You've got a page filled with the number 5, and hidden among them are a few number 2s. For most of us, finding those 2s is kind of slow. You have to scan carefully.
Right. Tedious.
Yeah. But now imagine if, for you, every 2 instantly popped out as, say, bright green, and all the 5s were red. A grapheme color synesthete might see those 2s immediately. It's like they're highlighted automatically. The task becomes effortless.
Okay, that makes sense. Like a built-in cheat code for that specific task.
Yeah.
What else?
Well, another really fascinating one is chromesthesia. That's sound to color.
Sound to color.
Like music. Exactly. Music is a common trigger, but other sounds can do it too. It evokes colors, sometimes shapes, movement. The painter Wassily Kandinsky, hugely influential abstract artist. He apparently attended a Wagner opera, Lohengrin, and afterwards felt he had to paint the color and shape orgies he experienced listening to the music. A lot of his abstract work is thought to be directly inspired by trying to capture these sound-driven visual experiences.
So he was literally painting the music he saw.
In a way, yes. Then you get into rarer types, like lexical-gustatory synesthesia.
Lexical, so words. Gustatory, taste. Words have tastes.
You got it. Specific words, sometimes even just seeing certain objects, can trigger actual taste sensations. And again, it's not memory. It's not like the word lemon makes you think of sourness. It's an involuntary taste on the tongue. People report things like seeing a table and tasting dried pasta, or seeing a dollhouse and tasting sweet jelly with sour sprinkles.
Dried pasta for a table. That's so specific.
It often is. There are documented cases, like seeing a picture of a university building and instantly tasting sausage.
Okay, that's really something else. So you could be having a conversation and suddenly taste sausage because someone mentioned their alma mater.
Pretty much. It underlines how automatic and sometimes bizarre the connections can be.
What about touch? Is there synesthesia involving touch?
Yes, and it's one of the most intriguing, mirror touch synesthesia. With this type, if a person sees someone else being touched, they feel a sensation on their own body in the corresponding location.
Wait, so if I see you tap your shoulder,
Someone with mirror touch might feel a distinct tap on their own shoulder right then and there.
wow, that sounds intense.
Yeah.
Does it hurt if they see someone get hurt?
It can, yes. They can feel phantom pains or discomfort. It's really interesting for researchers studying empathy, actually. It might be linked to an overactivity of mirror neurons, suggesting a sort of heightened physical resonance with others' experiences.
That connection to empathy is fascinating. Are there others? It seems like the combinations could be endless.
They almost are. There's auditory tactile, where sounds cause physical sensations on the body. Think of a specific sound making your ankle tingle. There's number form synesthesia, where people perceive numbers mapped out in specific spatial arrangements, like a mental map. And ticker tape synesthesia, where people hear speech and simultaneously see the words visually, like scrolling text on an imaginary ticker tape in their mind.
Ticker tape.
Yeah.
Like closed captions in your head all the time.
Sort of, yeah. It's quite a range.
Feeling someone else's touch just by seeing it?
Mhm.
That is mind-bending. It really makes you wonder, okay, how? How does the brain actually do this? What are the theories about the mechanics behind it?
Right, the how. Well, there isn't one single answer yet, but there are a few leading ideas. One popular one is the cross-activation theory. Brain imaging studies, like fMRI, have shown increased connectivity, or crosstalk, between brain areas that normally handle different senses. So for that graphene color type we talked about, the area for recognizing letters and the area for processing color seem to be talking to each other much more. Or maybe the wiring between them is just denser, more robust than in non-synesthetes.
So stronger connections between sensory departments, basically.
That's one way to put it. Another related idea is the disinhibited feedback theory. This theory suggests that maybe we all have these cross-sensory pathways, at least latently. But in most people, there are inhibitory signals that keep the senses separate, preventing that spillover. In synesthetes, perhaps these inhibitory processes are weaker or disinhibited, allowing signals to flow more freely between areas.
Interesting. So the connections might be there in everyone, just usually switched off.
Potentially. And we see some hints of this in what's called acquired synesthesia, sometimes after head trauma or using certain drugs or even during sensory deprivation. People without synesthesia can report temporary synesthetic experiences.
Ah, so that suggests the pathways can be unlocked, maybe.
Exactly. It lends some weight to that disinhibition idea. There's also a newer concept called ideasphesia. It's a bit more complex, but it proposes that maybe synesthesia isn't just about linking raw senses, but more about linking the meaning or concept of something to a sensation. Like it's the idea of Wednesday that triggers the color, not just the sound or the visual letters.
The idea itself. And what about genetics? Does it run in families?
It definitely seems to. Synesthesia is significantly more common in families where someone already has it, so there's likely a genetic predisposition. But it's complicated. It's not like one synesthesia gene. And even in the same family, different members might have different types or different color pairings for letters, for instance. Oh, and interestingly, studies consistently show it's more common in women than in men, though we don't fully know why yet.
Okay, so if it's got this genetic component and it's not generally harmful, maybe even helpful sometimes, what does that say about evolution? Could there be actual advantages to having your senses intertwined like this?
That's a really great question. And yeah, researchers think there might be some evolutionary advantages. For one, enhanced perception. Synesthesia might help someone notice subtle details or patterns that others miss. Think about our ancestors maybe associating a slight change in the environment, like a predator's movement, with a unique color or taste could provide a survival edge.
Like an early warning system almost.
Could be. Another big one is memory. Synesthetes often report having really good memories. Their cross-sensory experiences act like a built-in mnemonic device. If a name has a color and a texture for you, that's multiple ways to encode and retrieve it. It makes recalling names, numbers, dates potentially easier.
That makes a lot of sense. More hooks to hang the memory on.
Precisely. And some forms might also enhance discrimination. Maybe tasting textures associated with food helps you better judge its quality or safety. So yeah, it suggests that having this kind of perceptual diversity within a population could be beneficial overall, a wider range of tools for interacting with the world.
It really feels like this unique way of experiencing reality would almost inevitably lead to creativity, right?
hmm
Is there a strong link found between synesthesia and, say, the arts or sciences?
Oh, absolutely. The connection, especially with the arts, is pretty striking and well documented. A lot of famous artists, composers, musicians, writers are known or suspected synesthetes. We mentioned Kandinsky. The writer Vladimir Nabokov, he wrote very specifically about his grapheme color synesthesia in his memoir, Speak Memory. He described A as having the color of weathered wood, or like a sooty rag being ripped. Just incredibly vivid, consistent
You
associations.
can see how that would feel incredibly descriptive writing.
Definitely. And in music, think of someone like Kanye West, who's talked about seeing sounds as paintings that he's creating. That's chromesthesia directly influencing his process.
Right.
Billy Joel, Lorde, Billie Eilish, Pharrell Williams, they've all spoken about experiencing music in color. Going back further, composers like Alexander Scriabin and Olivier Messiaen actually tried to incorporate their synesthetic visions into their scores, like specifying colors to be projected during performances.
Wow, trying to share their experience directly.
Yeah. And it's not just artists, notable scientists too. Nikola Tesla is often cited. And as we said, Richard Feynman seeing his equations in color, it suggests this different way of processing information might contribute to innovation in many fields.
So it's not just a curiosity, it can be a source of insight or creativity. Is it possible to, like, learn to be a synesthete?
Well, people can train themselves to form associations, say between letters and colors. This is sometimes called pseudo-synesthesia. But it seems to require constant practice and conscious effort to maintain those links. It's different from genuine synesthesia, which is involuntary, automatic, consistent over a lifetime, and usually originates in childhood. True synesthesia isn't something you learn or forget, it's just how your brain is wired.
Got it. So the real deal is automatic and lifelong. This whole conversation, this deep dive, has really opened my eyes, maybe it's the wrong phrase, opened my mind to just how varied human experience can be. And maybe for you listening, it sparked some curiosity. Maybe you've always thought numbers had personalities or music had shapes. There are online tests if you're curious, though diagnosis is complex. But I think the bigger takeaway here is just the sheer diversity, how differently we can all perceive the same world.
I agree completely. What synesthesia shows us, I think, is the amazing plasticity and the diverse wiring possibilities of the human brain. It's a really powerful reminder that what we consider normal perception is just one slice of a much bigger pie. Our reality isn't necessarily the reality. And studying this isn't just about understanding synesthesia itself. It helps us tackle bigger questions about consciousness, about memory, how the brain integrates all this sensory input to construct the world we live in.
So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. The next time you listen to a song you love, or read a book, or even just glance at an everyday object, take a second. Consider what other subtle sensations might be happening in your brain that you've just never tuned into. How might your own normal perception be its own unique blend? What hidden connections, maybe not full-blown synesthesia, but subtle links, are waiting for you to notice? Keep exploring those connections. Thanks for joining us on The Curious Machine, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive. Thank you very much for sharing this enjoyable conversation with us. Until we meet again tomorrow with a brand new topic, take very good care of yourselves. Goodbye.